To vote in U.S. federal, state, and local elections, you must be a U.S. citizen. Some areas allow non-citizens to vote in local elections only. Meet your state's residency requirements. You can be homeless and still meet these requirements, be 18 years old on or before Election Day, and be registered to vote by your state's voter registration deadline. However, some people are not allowed to vote. Non-citizens, including permanent legal residents, cannot vote in federal, state, and most local elections. Some people following felony convictions or who are currently serving time for other types of crimes may not be allowed to vote. Rules are different in each state. Some people who are mentally incapacitated may also not be allowed to vote. Rules vary by state. 1. The voting process in the United States is fairly straightforward. First, an eligible citizen registers to vote, studies the candidates and issues, looks up their polling location, then casts their ballot during the election. 1. For presidential elections, the process starts with primary elections and caucuses. These are how states select a potential presidential nominee. Primaries generally use secret voting ballots, while caucuses are large gatherings of voters who choose their candidate at the end of a meeting. 2. During the general election, U.S. citizens vote for president and vice president through a process called the Electoral College. In this system, each state is awarded a certain number of electors, as many as it has members of Congress. There are 538 electors in total. A candidate needs the vote of at least 270 electors, more than half of the total, to win the presidency. Each state makes its own voting and election rules, including when and how to register. You can visit vote.gov to begin the voter registration process. Select your state or territory, and depending on its rules, you will find instructions on how to register online, by mail, or in person at your local election office. 1. You can also download the National Mail Voter Registration Form and fill it out on-screen and print the completed form, or print the blank form and fill it out by hand. Remember to sign the form before mailing it to the location listed for your state. Yes, you can register to vote if you are overseas. To vote from abroad, you must register with local election officials in your state of voting residence and request an absentee ballot. You can use the Federal Postcard Application, FPCA, to do both. Submit a new FPCA early each year, every time you move, and whenever you change your address, email, or name. 1. U.S. citizens can receive an absentee ballot by email, fax, or internet download, depending on the state they are eligible to vote in. Every state has its own voter registration deadline. Depending on your state, the registration deadline could be as much as a month before an election. You can check the U.S. Vote Foundation to find your state's voter registration deadline. You can also check your state or territory's election office for more details. Voting rights for individuals convicted of a felony vary substantially from state to state. In some states, voting rights are restored to individuals convicted of a felony automatically upon completion of their sentence, including prison time, parole, and probation. In other states, voting rights are not automatically restored, and the governor may opt to restore an individual's voting rights by pardon on a case-by-case basis. 1. You can check with your state's election office for more information on the specific process for restoring voting rights after a felony conviction.